Most Republicans agree. Any government health insurance plan is a non-starter. I want to talk about that and other headlines with Senator John McCain. He joins me live from the Capitol. Senator, I got to tell you something. I told you this just a moment ago. We were deluged with emails to my blog page because you ran into some travel problems and couldn't join us on Friday. No one is more happy than I am that you are here with us this morning, so thanks for being with us.
Well, thank you, Tony, and I apologize.
No worries.
I was traveling back to Arizona, and I apologize.
Well, we're just happy that you're with us today. Let's get started on health care here.
Sure.
You've said in the past that the biggest problem with the American health care system is one of cost and access, and as a result, tens of millions of individuals have no insurance. Do you believe there should be some system to cover the uncovered right now in this country, and what would it be?
Oh, I think we could do that. I think it's obviously we should make health care affordable and available. I think there are many ways to do that, including the issue that was so controversial during the campaign, and that is to take employers provided health benefits, remove the taxation of the tax break of it, and give all American families a $5,000 refundable tax credit. I think we're in agreement on incentives for wellness and fitness. I think we are in agreement on portability, but this, quote, government option is something that's a non-starter. And one other thing is medical malpractice. I'm glad the president's going to bring it up today, but he's better be pretty specific because he's got a very significant base in the trial lawyers who will resist that vigorously, obviously.
Yeah, let's see if we can break it out a little bit. Obviously, I just want to get you on the record on these things so that we hear clearly where you stand on this. In the past, you've said your reforms are built on the pursuit of three goals, and let's tick them off one at a time here. The first goal was paying only for quality medical care. How do we do a better job of that? Because we're talking about this all this week, and my guess is we'll be talking about this through October and beyond. How do we do that? How do we get these costs under control?
Well, ranging from medical malpractice reform to obviously, because of the unnecessary tests that are administered daily by doctors just to protect themselves from lawsuits, to putting in incentives in health insurance plans in order to have wellness and fitness, including allowing people to go across state lines to get the health insurance of their choice, which is obviously increases the competitive aspects of it. Of course, we have to have the elimination of the fraud, abuse, and waste, but there has to be incentives to do so.
Yeah.
And so it's, look, if we have a government option, then sooner or later it will dramatically increase the cost. It will crowd out private health insurance. And if you're doing it in the name of competition, we have 1,300 health insurance companies in America today. They're competing, but they're not getting the kinds of health care costs under control that's necessary.
Yeah, do you think it is absolutely necessarily so that if you have a competing government system that invariably what will happen is that you will drive some of the private health insurers out of the business?
I don't think there's any doubt about it. Over time, you drive them all out. And the idea that somehow the government can administer health care in America in a more efficient fashion than the private sector, I think flies in the face of the examples of other countries that have done so.
Yeah, will you help us with, and it's another idea of costs here. We just talked about health care costs for one particular problem in Miami, and the same procedures, the same course of treatment in Portland, and the cost is decidedly less. How do we get control over those disparate costs from region to region, from city to city, state to state?
Well, you know, there's a famous article, I think it was in the New Yorker, about McAllen, Texas, having the highest costs. And one of the reasons they found out for that is because the doctors own the facilities that provide the health care that they refer people to. That's one of the areas that I think where the government probably has to step in. But I also think that malpractice reform has got to be an integral part of it, because of the additional tests that are also associated with it for fear of being sued. But again, if you take the tax benefits associated with employer-provided health benefits and remove that and give the American people refundable tax credit, then there will not be the tendency to gold plate health insurance benefits, because then the decisions will be in the hands of the consumer.
All right. If I could, just one more quick question.
Sure.
As the ranking member of the Senate Armed Services Committee, what is your view of the provocative actions from North Korea recently? And this is certainly something that your committee is going to have to deal with. What are you looking at? What are our real options for dealing with North Korea?
Our real options are to enforce the UN Security Council resolutions, which has got significant holes in it. We don't know if Russia and China will enforce those sanctions. Very importantly, make China understand that a key element in our relations is their influence over North Korea. Finally, if we have to inspect North Korean ships, we should inspect North Korean ships. We know that they are trying to export their technology because they need the money. But let's not get into negotiations where the object is further negotiations. And that's been the history of the Bush and now the Obama administrations.
And finally, your reaction to the election results as we know them from Iran.
Well, it's very disappointing, of course, but not astonishing, because the Muslim clerics, extremists, control the political climate and mechanisms of Iran. And it's not encouraging to hear that the ones who perpetrated this fraud are now going to be in charge of the investigation. So I hope that we can succeed in our relations with Iran, but this is not a good sign, and we should speak out strongly in opposition to what was clearly a corrupt election.
All right, Senator McCain, thank you so much
Thanks,
for your time.
Tony.
No, we
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Thank you. Still to come in the newsroom today, defiant